Well, welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti. I'm going to do a curveball. I got the fan show guys with me, but poor Leanna hasn't said anything on the show in a long time. Leanna, what was your favorite part of the show?
Honestly, I just love listening to all your rundowns on football. I don't really understand football. If you guys know, I'm Australian, so I'm more of a
Wait, you're Australian?
League. I know, surprise, surprise.
I thought you were from New York.
I sound like I could do a pretty good New York accent, I think. Coffee.
Let's hear it.
Wait, do they say coffee? How do they say it? Is that Boston? That's
kind of both.
That's close.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah, but no, I'm a rugby league girl through and through. So hearing any sort of opinions is pretty great because I honestly am still learning the game. David knows that, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I update all my friends like every day with the sport updates, footy updates. It's great.
Footy updates.
Updates.
Sudden favorite
You
part
guys
of the
are
show?
great.
Just seeing everybody again.
Oh, brotherhood, fellowship. Kelly?
I like talking football. It's fun.
All right, sounds like everybody has the same answer. You?
Same answer.
All right. Well, on the show, I was hoping for some specifics. We didn't get that from anybody. OB, really good. I'm a fan of OB. We also had Aaron Torres. We had Stephen McGee and Ryan Swope, birthday boy Swopey out there. And, of course, these knuckleheads, the fan show. It's the TexAgs Rewind. Check it.
Interject when you disagree.
Yeah.
But there's always I put a lot of thought into this, unlike some like Fox and stuff like that. But number 5 on my list, I have Jaden Daniels, the LSU quarterback. He's third in the nation in total offense. Last week, completed 30 of 34 passes for 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, and ran for 2 touchdowns in that big win over Mississippi State. Overall this year, 976 yards and 8 touchdowns passing with 1 interception, and rushed for 157 and 2 touchdowns.
Am I wrong? Were you not sold on Jaden Daniels coming into the season?
I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's overhyped, and I don't know if he'll stay in my top 5 very long.
But through three games.
Through 3 games, he absolutely deserves it.
Okay, I can live with that. Caleb Williams all the way down to 4. He started as number 1.
I had him number 2. But here's the deal: we're 3 games in. All rankings now should be based on what happened this year. Last year's now irrelevant, in my opinion. He's averaging 4 touchdowns a game. That's great. The Trojans were idle last week, so he couldn't build on his stats, but he has a big opportunity this week against Arizona State. Anyway, through 3 games, 878 yards, no interceptions.
All right. I can live with this so far. I'm giving you a yes.
Okay. Number 3, I'm dropping a guy down from number 1, Jordan Travis, the Florida State quarterback. I think he's had consecutive mundane showings. Last week, passed for just 212 yards and 2 touchdowns in that 31-29 Florida State win over Boston College. Not bad, but that's hardly Heisman worthy, right?
Right.
Overall, though, 729 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, and of course he was excellent in that big win over LSU.
Without following the ups and downs of each game, in my mind, Jordan Travis is the Heisman Trophy leader in my mind. But I agree with you; he has had less than spectacular.
He's had two kind of mundane games in a row. Number 2, Shedeur Sanders
for at least another week.
I love this conversation because we had this off air one time. I almost felt like at the beginning of the year, there were so many people that I talked to, I've been so high on him. Like before the years, I was just like, oh, this dude's unbelievable. Like, it's the one sure thing we have. But people would be like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't see that. And I started to have doubts. I was like, well, maybe I'm just getting completely blind in my old age. Like, I don't even know what I'm looking for anymore. And I think even now, after 3 games, like, he's got one of the highest QBRs thrown for over 200 a game, and he's efficient. But some of the stats people don't talk about Connor, his accuracy, I was talking to Bronny about this. He's completed 70% of his passes, but he's not deking and dunking like a lot of quarterbacks. And a lot of quarterbacks that throw for 70% of the passes, they're very conservative. And so they get under pressure. Instead of throwing it away, they just take a sack. Connor has 2 sacks this year. People don't talk about how few sacks he takes. He gets rid of the football. That's a huge deal. Great quarterbacks don't take sacks. Look at Tom Brady. Look at Peyton Manning. I guarantee you their sacks compared to an average quarterback is way fewer. I'm just a big believer in him. Maybe I'm...
Oh, you are?
Maybe I'm wrong. But I think this guy's as good as they come.
I agree with you.
No, he's a good player. My thing is, I want to see...
You want to see more of it?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, stats are great and all, but are we winning or losing football games?
True.
But what I love about him is the game slows down when the pressure comes.
Let's just put this: he gives us a better chance to win. I do think that
you win because of him.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think we're about to be tested here over the next 3 weeks.
Can a team do you blame the quarterback in a situation in which he has to overcome a lot around him?
No, that goes back to that's
it's
why
the
I
ultimate
think he's
team
really
game.
good. It
Yeah.
is ultimate. It's an ultimate team game, and for what he is, I mean, his offensive line, I think it's suspect. I think they're doing a lot better than what we anticipated. But he also has a ton of weapons, and he's thrown into a dynamic offense now.
But until they start giving us those kind of performances, those are the questions that we'll have going into this game.
Yeah, it was funny. I texted during the Monroe game. I didn't get to watch a ton of it. I texted the guy who runs our Torres on Texas A&M Twitter account, which if you're not following, make sure to do so. All Aggies all the time, especially if you can't stand me on my main feed. But I bring it up because I was joking with him. I said, are we, I just sent him a text. I said, are we back, ? And he just did the LOL, whatever. But listen, I'll say this. I think your analysis is exactly in line with my analysis. This is the game. It's year one under Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze, who I've grown to know a little bit, and I've grown to respect him quite a bit, actually. He has been transparent. This roster at Auburn is nowhere near where it needs to be. You have a team coming to town with a transfer quarterback. Now, admittedly, Peyton Thorne's pretty good. A lot of good transfer quarterbacks. Okay. I believe it's 4 new starters on the offensive line out of the portal. 2 of the top 3 receivers are out of the portal. And this is a game that if you are who you say you are, or who you should be at this point in year 6, and obviously now with a lot of those players in the 2022 class, now with 15 or so games under their belt, this is a game you should win convincingly. At home, it's going to be a great crowd. By the way, the weather I hear is supposed to be hot, which would favor the deeper team, all that good stuff. So, we could get into the who, what, when, where, why, but I'm 1,000% with you. This is a game you should win and win convincingly. And I'll add this. If you do win and win convincingly, it sets up a very nice, final 2/3 of the season because as we've seen in the SEC West and the SEC in general this year, David, there are a lot of winnable games for just about everybody.
I think it's been kind of beaten to death this week, but how open this SEC West is right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the season starts Saturday. Throw everything.
In more ways than one, right?
In more ways than one, but this is the most winnable division that Texas A&M has had since they've been in the SEC. And everything that I think the fan base has been wanting since 2012 is there for the taking this year. And I think building off 5-7 last year, if you said, hey, 9-3 is a good year, 10-2 is a good year. Yeah, it's a good year. But now when you look at what other teams are doing in this division, man, if that doesn't accelerate what you really want as a great season now to be out in front of you, there's just so much to play for, and it starts Saturday.
Yep, it does. And I hate that this game means so much.
And I've heard you say that, and to me, it's like Auburn is like almost the best opponent to start this with.
Even though it's a new head coach.
Even though it's a new head coach, and I don't think they're very good, and we'll get into that this hour, but I think Auburn, it's a name opponent. They're 3-0. Hugh Freeze is the head coach. You're not playing an interim coach. Last year's game against them was such a drag. I think this is a great opponent to start to get things kicked off.
I like you thinking that. All right, Kelly. It's been a minute for you.
It's been a minute.
Hey, let's don't talk baseball, by the way, because no one can brag about anything going on.
Yeah, it's all terrible baseball.
So I nipped that in the butt.
Thank you for taking
I was
going to
let you harass me for a little bit.
And I wasn't.
We're playing worse.
Place.
We're playing worse.
Yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, to what's important, football. I agree on it's a winnable division, and we ought to be in it. I think Hugh Freeze is going to give us problems this weekend, though. Unfortunately, he's a guy that's
like losing problems. Like you
it's going to be close. It is. It shouldn't be, but Hugh Freeze is a good football coach. He, like you say, I think it was AT was on a second ago, and he was talking about Hugh Freeze wins games. That's what he does. He's going to find a way to put some points on the board, and he's going to find a way for us to put a little less points on the board. We should beat him by 3 touchdowns. But
do you think Leanna knows what to do at the end of a YouTube video? You think she knows?
She's young enough to know.
I mean, she's been asked already. Leanna, tell the people what to do. Your mic needs to be turned on first. That'd be great.
Hit the rewind.
Yeah, we just watched the rewind at this point. So what are they supposed to
need
do?
to like.
Subscribe,
Yes.
like, comment. Do it all, guys. Even Instagram. Do all of our socials. Hit them all. TexAgs Radio.
And say footy again.
Yeah.
Footy? Oh, yeah. Watch the footy. Get
Watch
around
the
footy
footy.
this weekend. Auburn.
Watch the footy.
Awesome. 11 a.m. I'll even be on the field at halftime. So catch me there.
Oh,
Get no ring.
She's a track superstar. All right. It is TexAgs Rewind. See you next time.